Kid Rock is he's terrific. He came to the convention. He knocked everybody out. He was fantastic. He's a great guy. He's just a great guy. He's popular, very popular.
Oh, he's a real dirt serpent too, dude. He's a freaking legend, you know.
No, he's
gets up there and he rants and he does his thing, and he's not necessarily, I'm sure his advisors go crazy, but he's not needing, not reading off, he doesn't have 14.
Kid Rock is one of his advisors, you know? And look, I love Kid Rock, but I don't know if every advice of his is the best, but now some of it is, that's for sure, but some of it may not.
You're right. And leverage to try to convince the Chinese to crack down on fentanyl manufacturing. Because if you get it at the source, right, that's, I think, really the way to address it.
Oh, there's fentanyl in half the bookshelves they make over there, dude. You put a half a set of dictionaries, and that bitch will give way. I've seen
an asthma society of America.
They hated Mustangs.
Yeah, they didn't like Mustangs because of that.
Come on, dude.
So
if you have asthma, if you get a Mustang, you got a chance with the ladies, I feel like. But if you just show up with asthma, dude, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's not a good selling point.
Yeah, asthma has one speed, dude. You know?
How did you get addicted? How did?
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, So not just, That's down and dirty, right? Yeah, and it was.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it, too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something. So it starts to become more interesting. Like the last woman we had on, trains cats around the country.
Really?
With a traveling cat circus,
that's pretty amazing.
So that's who you're following up, you know?
That's right.
So, that's
way more interesting than a politician, man. That's
just so you know where you are, you know?
Polluter than we are right now.
Oh, yeah, dude. They all smoke, too. A lot of Chinese people. Yeah, that kid that smokes on that bicycle or whatever, he's smoking 11 cigarettes. Dude, I was in a meeting. Some guy had a fish hook stuck in his freaking cheek, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, yeah.
Man.
He had 2 weeks clean.
Yeah. He'd either had a really bad night or a really good night. Maybe both. Jesus.
Yeah, who knows what happened. God dang, it's just all right, dude. Catch and release, brother. Catch and release. He probably tried to come across the border. Dude, I would hate to have a real long wiener if you have a cat. That would be the fucking.
It'd be dangerous.
It would be dangerous.
Talk about a cat toy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you'd have to put a little bell at the end of it or something.
You would. And a feather.
Yeah. Dude, I used to work at this restaurant, and one of my coworkers, he's like, man, I hate seeing Bananas Foster on the menu because I was raised in a foster home, and it makes me sad. Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, yeah.
Just to equate Bananas Foster and being raised in a foster home. But I was like,
you could fix it right now. Don't, do whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And she won't talk to you, and she won't talk to anybody. She won't be interviewed.
She's welcome to come on. I would love to get to talk to her.
I'm sure she'd be very exciting. Actually, you could make her exciting, probably.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody said she's a good roller skater. That's what I heard, which is crazy.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And I probably went into the Marine Corps. I was pretty whiny, pretty resentful kid, was pissed off at my mom, was pissed off at all these other people because I didn't have the things that I thought I should have. And then eventually, there's me when I was much skinnier, much better looking.
Oh, yeah. The Marines, dude, that was the original Ozempic.
That's right.
That's Brozempic, dude.
That is good. That is good.
For what are often labeled as conspiracy theories, but then often end up being truth just because, or not often, but yeah, often end up being truths or having realness to them because the news media isn't even, it's like they all just go down these same similar paths and it's not, it doesn't even feel real anymore. I mean, the fact that you and I are talking is wild, it's like, wouldn't talk to me, but
was he squeezing you because he was happy?
He was happy.
Okay, so this wasn't
So I was smiling, dude.
Yeah,
my smile hit.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
The more he squeezed the edges of my smile, you could hear him ding against my earlobes.
Yeah,
he squeezed me as much as somebody could be squeezed. His wife is not doing well if that guy has a wife. Right. I'll tell you that.
Race is like the Irish.
Mm-hmm.
That are what.
We know. Yeah.
There's other ones too.
They're the most thirsty.
Yeah.
The Irish, yeah. I mean, they're good at it. They make it look good. I mean, we
call it the Irish flu.
Yeah.
Previous people were terrible terrible.
Yeah.
Every time you do a thing, you'd be red flagged. They'd put up a red
there's
flag. Every statement you made, you'd be red flagged.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like when you have a babysitter and they don't want to have any fun or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of the vibe I got.
Again, yeah. People get injured. People get injured at sporting events. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I thought that for a second, I thought you were describing a wedding in Appalachia, dude. That's what I thought for a second. So.
We've had some of those too. Yeah.
Percent of the population, but it's 50% of the unsheltered homeless.
And unsheltered homeless means homeless that don't have a place to sleep at night.
Yeah, it's people who are on the sidewalks,
Like freelance, yeah.
right, or they're in shelter. They're
like free range.
Yeah.
Well, it's just wild that they can do that. It's almost like I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm going to get an apple, right? I'm going to eat it, and then after I eat it, you're going to tell me how much it costs.
You got it. That is,
and they're like, it's $400. You're like, is it from the Garden of Eden?
But it's even worse. You're exactly right. But it's
now that would be a good Dave Portnoy thing where he does one bite hit a coon with a bite.
Have you ever seen a raccoon eat? You never gave him any duck, did you?
Oh, I pulled up on them and they're always like this. We did
right with their hands.
We didn't do it.
Totally.
The gayest one is the one in the recycling bin. He's always like, hey. At least the other ones are in the trash. There's always that one that kind of wanders up from the recycling bin and he's wearing like a negligee your mom's or something. You're like, what the f is that one been doing?
Had some kid run up. He was like a 19-year-old kid run up from behind me, and it had been raining a lot that day, and he had like he'd taken a chunk of mud out of the ground and shoved it in my mouth. I mean, this is like what these sports rivalries are built around is moments like this. But we
That's insane.
We had, I guess, won 4 years in a
That's
row.
reforestation, isn't it?
That's right.
If the Democrats make rules that say I cannot win, and then they complain about me running somewhere else, it's like it's like a guy who murders his parents and then throws himself on the mercy of the court because he's an orphan.
Yeah.
They're trying to get public sympathy for a problem that they created.
I hate when I see Bananas Foster on the menu. That's how it goes. But no, I see what you're saying. It's almost like they're playing two cards that are trying to do two different things, but one of them kind of concedes that there's some truth in the other one.
But like a lot of my friends, they look at people as like, where did you go to school? What do your parents do?
Yeah.
What job do you have? What credential do you have? I've never had that, right? And so when people like talk about politics or policy and they'll be like, oh, well, this person has a PhD. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, they may be smart, but I don't care about.
PhD's only 3. It doesn't even spell anything.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about, about the letters.
Contacted me and said through a friend and said, I can get $10 million for you fast. And I met him in my hotel, and
Was it like one of those consolidation credit card things?
No, it was just a guy who, he was an attorney who had a lot of clients.
Oh, okay. Private deal. Also sad that somebody, I mean, this is ridiculous to say, probably that somebody can't, you can't even do cocaine in this country anymore, And that seems like a crazy thing to say. And don't say that. Don't say that. But I said it. But yeah. But don't say that anymore.
I'm gonna steal that line. That's after the election, though, man.
No.
We gotta win first.
It's unfortunate.
I can do a little blow. I can drink, but other than that, I'm totally sober. It's a modified sobriety.
Who was your sponsor? Shepard Smith? That's what I want to know.
Okay, that's funny, but I'm not going to comment on it beyond that.
That's fine. No, and no dig to Shepard. I'm a fan of Shepard.
Yeah. No,
but he's just a legend in a lot of circles from a lot of friends of mine from different colleges.
How do you know all this? It's like,
dude, it's easy. You just be alive and you just pay attention.